So Angels of Death has finally come to a conclusion after a season and some odd episodes, and I have to say, overall, I'm pretty happy with how this wrapped up. The ending is definitely open-ended. After the credits, there's about 20 seconds. The first 10 is showing a windowsill with blood on it. As well, you then see Rachel's knife that was given to her by Zach on the floor, so you can interpret it in quite a few ways. I mean, the fact that Zach does come in at the end of the episode the way he does, there's police surrounding him, you can view it as Zach kills Rachel, then Zach gets killed himself, or maybe just Zach gets killed, Rachel goes back to therapy. There's a lot of ways to interpret it, and I'm glad they ended the show in the way they did, because there's a lot of ways to view Rachel and Zach, and what they deserved as a tomorrow. Did they deserve death? Did they deserve a second chance? So I do like how it was open-ended in the way it is. You can definitely hint on someone dying based on the blood, but it's not said one way or the other, which is the proper way to go about this, because from the very beginning it was trying to make you question how to view characters like Rachel Gardner as well as Zach and what their futures should look like. So I'm glad they ended it in the way that they did. But the first little chunk of the episode was interesting, wrapping up Gray and Danny's story, and I have to say, Danny, that guy's absolutely insane, but I am glad the anime went a step above to at least show his mentality and his obsession. I mean, to me, honestly, Danny is the kind of guy who would kidnap someone and lock them in their basement, and when they were caught, they would say, well, they had a abusive husband or wife, so I was just trying to give them love because I'm the only one who could love them, and that's how he would sell his case not to get the death penalty. Danny is absolutely a lunatic, and that's not okay. The way he was trying to counsel Rachel is not okay. The girl who's actually trying to help Rachel at the end of the episode, that's the proper therapy and counseling. Being obsessive, being a stalker, and being a lunatic trying to convince a little girl to kill people, be his possession, like, that's absolutely insane, but I do like how the anime at least explained his motivation and also kind of gave some insight with Gray and why he ultimately turned and what his purpose with this building was. Even though it was absolutely insane, these were all pretty insane characters at the end of the day, so I do like how it all got wrapped up, and finally, once and for all, Danny gets killed. He can't escape from that rock falling on him. He's escaped a lot of scenes where he should have died. I'm glad there's no more Danny. He's just gone, he's done, he served his purpose. I'm glad his story was wrapped up. But how they directed the leaving scene with Zach holding Rachel, I thought was actually pretty well done. The directing was spot on. I like how there's just cops everywhere saying, put the girl down, and how he's still trying to get the promise across, like, I will kill you. I thought it was actually a pretty nice scene overall. As messed up as it was a pretty nice scene, and how quiet this episode actually was, I think benefited the story a lot, because that kind of matches Rachel's mind, because she's lost, because her entire purpose was the promise between her and Zach. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some people saying, well, look at the therapy that Rachel was going through. It clearly wasn't working, and Zach is probably the proper therapy for her, even if it means death or them living a happy tomorrow together. But at the end of the day, what Rachel went through, that would take years and years of counseling, if not her entire life, to even mend her back into being a person. The way she is viewing life, that's not okay. Suicide is not the answer for her. She should want to live her life. She's still so young, and she still has a chance at a better tomorrow. So the therapy that she was getting is actually what she needed from the very beginning, and if she had that from the very beginning, her life could have taken a completely different turn. So I do like how they were directing. I also like seeing how the news was kind of like reacting to Zach, and how he admitted to his 4 murders, but he's like, no, I wasn't behind the building, I wasn't behind her parents' death, but yes, I did kill those 4 people. And those 4 people are a big indicator of, like, okay, we've been focusing on Zach in this building for this entire time, and I never lost focus of this, but I'm sure there's plenty of people who are like, well, Zach's a pretty good guy, but at the end of the day, he still killed 4 people, and you can't just ignore those bad deeds because he seemingly is an okay person right now. And even with him being an okay person, it's still very questionable with how his relationship is with Rachel. And that's what I like about this show, is that it's a very hard thing to kind of put down an opinion on Rachel and Zach and what should happen to these characters, and that's why I'm so okay with the open-ended fashion, because I don't really know what I would want. If I would want both to live, both to have counseling, both to die, I don't know, and I'm better just thinking I don't know what happens, because that's the proper outcome in my honest opinion. And that's what I like about this show, is that even though I think there was a lot of missed opportunities, especially with the first half of the villains in this building, Eddie and Kathy were just really just anime personalities. They were pretty much just floor bosses. They didn't really have a backstory, which I really wish they would have thrown maybe 5 or 10 minutes into their chunks of episodes. to flesh out what happened to them. At least Danny and Gray got some development and actually tied into the ending in a pretty elegant way. I think there was some missed opportunities with the villains, but I am glad Rachel and Zach held this anime together, and this was a very fun watch for 16 weeks. I had fun reviewing it every week. I'm going to make a full review on this series in a couple of weeks. I don't know exactly when it will go up, but it'll be up on the channel in 2 or 3 weeks, give or take, and I had a fun time with this. This isn't an anime I'm going to remember forever. I'm probably never going to rewatch it, but I will say I had a very fun time with it and I don't regret watching this, and I'm glad the ending went out with a bang and a very strong note. The last 4 episodes of this series was definitely the highlight of it. If the entire series was the quality of the last 4 episodes, this might be one of a truly remarkable experience, but I'm glad with the time I spent with this. I think it had its moments that really shined, some moments that were a little like, okay, let's get the plot moving a bit faster here, but overall, this was a fun series that wanted to be a bit different, and I think it succeeded. I'm glad it ended in the way it is. I'm just sad that Rachel didn't get counseling in an earlier stage in her life because she desperately needed it. But let me know whatever you thought of Angels of Death down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Your favorite moment? What do you think happened at the end of the anime? Let me know whatever you're feeling, and be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. But until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.